Okay, it's been a while since I played this game. I've played the first part of it. I don't really remember as much as I wish I did about this game. I think we're at an all-girls magical school, and our mentor was, or died in front of us, maybe murdered. We're investigating our fellow classmates, and I think maybe some of the school staff to see what happened to our mentor. We'll just pick one here. Daniela. Daniela has the most power in all this. She seems to like Lyra, but there was something creepy about the way she spoke about Lyra. Daniela knows something. If I spend enough time around her, maybe I'll find out. I set my alarm for 8 o'clock in the morning. I want to make sure I won't be late. Miss Daniela has something to hide, and I'm going to find out what it is. There's no way she isn't here. Miss Daniela told me to meet her at exactly 10 a.m. So here I am at exactly 10 a.m. Either she is ignoring me or she is purposefully late. These must be the power trips Lyra was always complaining about. According to Lyra, Miss Daniela was always trying to prove she was in control. It made Lyra so mad. Madder than I've ever seen her before. She broke the mirror in my bathroom once because of it. Now I can see why. This level of pettiness is making me want to break down her door. I bet she's sitting in there laughing at me. Or maybe she didn't even bother to show up. Morning, Sydney. I spin around, ready to let my anger loose. Abruptly, I'm forced to rein in my misdirected anger. Oh, it's you. Oh, God. You say that like it's a bad thing. I feel a little guilty, no matter who she is. That was a bit rude. But really, it doesn't seem like her feelings were hurt. After all, she still has that stupid grin on her face. Daniela isn't here yet? That's not like her. Appeline unlocks the door with a wave of her hand. Is she really going to break into Miss Daniela's office so blatantly? Appeline pushes hard against the door, causing something behind it to scrape unpleasantly across the floor. Oh dear. Is this the right room? It looks nothing like the pristine room from yesterday. Or did someone do this? A broken sculpture lays miserably on the floor, and the desk is piled high with drink cans and food containers. An avalanche of trash pours from the upturned bin, and a sour smell turns my stomach. It just needs a little sprucing up. Help me move this, will you? I leap into action out of sheer awkwardness. I feel like this is something I shouldn't be seeing, a part of Miss Daniela I had never thought existed. She always walks around as if she is incapable of even having a wrinkle on her shirt. This is far more than a wrinkle. I kind of feel sorry for her. The room reminds me of all those times Lyra got angry, how she'd make my room look like this. That sounds like a crappy friend. During those nights, I could feel how badly Lyra was hurting, but even I wasn't enough to calm her down when she was in that state. I was the only one who could help her. If her temper showed, people would think badly of her monstrous state. Is that what made Miss Daniela do this? I don't know Miss Daniela well enough, but I don't think that's it. Once Appeline and I have disposed of the trash, the room looks cleaner already. I hope they made like a TikTok or YouTube video of them cleaning up the room, because I hear that content is really popular these days. There's something on the carpet we missed. Teal crystal dust sparkles on the shards of the broken sculpture. She's a crystal girly. A spell, maybe? I reach for a piece of the broken sculpture, shaped so perfectly, like a feather. It looks as if it was plucked from a crystal falcon. Is there any options? The music seems a little loud to me. And how do you turn down? Okay, I'm gonna get this right. I guess that's okay, that's better. I reach for a piece of the broken sculpture, shaped so perfectly like a feather. Okay, it looks as if it was plucked from a crystal falcon. When I touch it, the feather suddenly grows hot and explodes. Ow! Sydney! Appeline pulls my hand away, but the damage has been done. Buried into my skin are fragments of the crystal across my hand and arm. Ew. Are you all right? Obviously not. Wincing against the pain of her touch, I shake my head. Blood trickles down my hand from the small wounds, and without hesitation, Appeline licks my hand like a dog. Ew. What are you doing? Numbing the pain with a spell. Good grief. I nod my consent, and Appeline licks my wounds. It works too well. My whole hand feels like it just fell off. Is that good? Sounds kind of painful. Whatever that was has done more than numb the pain. What kind of enchantment major does healing magic? I teach a lot of first years. You pick up a few things here and there. Even if that is true, a first year wouldn't be learning healing magic like this. So how'd you pick it up from them? You know, most people would say thank you before accusing someone of... What are you accusing me of, actually? Nothing, and thank you. I think it's too late for a simple thank you. Maybe you can thank me by getting coffee with me tomorrow. That sounds like coercion. Why would you want to do that? You seem to have a lot of questions, Sydney. I have a lot of answers. Does she know something about Lyra? Those are the only questions I have, and I know she's aware of that, so maybe this is my chance. Then, okay, I'll get coffee with you. Great. You're feeling better now? I hold up my arm. The cuts have closed. My arm still feels numb, but that's probably a good thing. Seems fine to me. Appeline grins and reaches over. A pat on the head ends just as quickly as it came. Oh, and I'm really sorry, Sydney. I shouldn't have mentioned that Daniela can be a bit overprotective. Do you mean that feather was meant to explode? Who would go so far as to put a protective spell on something broken? Danny likes to seal her magic. If someone interferes with her things, then boom. That's a bit extreme. What could she be hiding with that much security? That is suspicious. Who is she trying to keep out? I'm not sure. Don't be coy. You know the answer to that, Appeline. Was it for me then, Daniela? Only the best for you. However, there aren't enough traps in the world to keep your nose out of my biz. Daniela coughs, stifling the sound with her sleeve. Daniela, are you all right? No one should be in my office. I locked it for a reason. I shiver, with the way Daniela demands answers without needing to ask it as a question. Sydney was waiting, so I thought it would be more comfortable for her in here. By the state we found her office, that was a grave misjudgment. I didn't need nor ask you to take it upon yourself to make Sydney more comfortable. Besides, how did you even get in here? You use the same protective spell for everything. Oh, it's like password 123. Daniela bristles and her cheeks turn red, jaw clenched. She hisses out like the steam of a train. This is the problem with you, Apolline. You're too familiar with everyone and everything. People like you naturally attract all kinds of disgusting parasites, yet you seem all too happy to offer yourself as some sort of buffet. It's distasteful to someone of your status to grovel over one who cowers on the lowest rung of the food chain. However you choose to live is none of my business. I simply ask you, don't do it in my office. Understood, Daniela. And you. With Apolline shrinking back, Miss Daniela's glare falls on me. I prepare myself for what is about to come. If Daniela turns pale, her body doubled over, rocking as she holds back a coughing fit. Daniela? Daniela holds her hand out, shooing Apolline away as she coughs out clouds of blue dust. Magical illnesses are painful, but usually easy to fix. Why has she shown up like this? Apolline's hand twitches, caught in limbo between reaching out for Daniela or following Daniela's orders and keeping her hands to herself. Finally making a decision, Apolline obediently watches Daniela suffer, as she wishes. What are you two doing here anyway? You told me to come for your office hours. Right, I remember. Have you been casting spells? Have you been casting all night, Daniela? I had things to do, loose ends to tie up. Daniela staggers to her office chair, only managing 1 or 2 steps between each raspy coughing fit. There's a flux of color on her skin. A deathly pale tone, almost gray, washes over her with each wheeze. My head. You've overworked yourself, Daniela. I did what needed to be done, and now I need to. Daniela holds her head, trying to gather herself. Apolline walks gingerly towards her, touching the back of her hand. When Daniela doesn't resist, Apolline takes Daniela's hands away from her face and whispers into her ear. The color in Daniela's face evens out. Her skin still looks clammy, but no longer deathly. Daniela gives Apolline a sideways glance and a small smile. It seems enough for Apolline to forgive and forget the tongue lashing from Miss Daniela just moments before. How can anyone let people treat them like that and then act like nothing happened? The moment doesn't last long, and Daniela pushes Apolline away. I just want to roll my eyes at the two of them, but at this point, their antics almost don't surprise me anymore. Don't stand so close to me. Serves Apolline right. She shouldn't be so forgiving. Still, it's not fair making someone your emotional punching bag 1 second and then cuddling up to them the next. If Miss Daniela were half the friend Lyra was, she'd understand that. I thought I was here for a mentoring session, not to be a witness to a full cycle of emotional abuse. I haven't forgotten. She could have fooled me. You should probably rest, Daniela. I have duties to fulfill. I'll feel better when they've been completed. You don't have to push yourself. I can do it for you. It's not your responsibility. It's mine. I really don't mind. Sydney might. Glad to see I have a say in this. I hold my tongue, the sarcasm best hidden from Daniela. She's already been passed from mentor to mentor. Consistency is key to a good first year. I'm sure she won't mind me. We get along well, don't we, Sydney? Without waiting for my response, Daniela cuts in. You're right. It did seem like you two were getting along. Well, it's her decision, I suppose. Would you rather keep to the original plan, Sydney, or go with Apolline for today? It doesn't really matter to me, but I could use the opportunity to investigate one of them more. Who should I investigate? I'm going to go with Apolline. I think she's suspicious. I decide to take Apolline's offer to substitute for office hours. What? Really? It's funny, I never thought something I did could make Daniela look so frazzled. It's actually a bit cute. Well, I suppose if that's your choice. It's not the smartest one, considering I am your mentor now, Sydney. Sydney probably sees that you need time to rest. She's just being considerate. I do not need her consideration, nor her insults. When did I insult her? She's been the one insulting everybody. If she wants you, then fine. The content is just basic elemental work, easy enough that even you can't overcomplicate it. But all magical disciplines are interrelated, so if you think about it, basic elemental magic is no different. Yes, Apolline, I read your paper. Please remember, although Lyra isn't here anymore, her ruling still stands. You follow one discipline, take one major, and treat them independently. Mixing magics has been banned, and rightly so. What was the point in all this, Daniela, if she still gets to choose? The point? The point in what? Daniela catches my sudden interest in her argument and shakes her head. Just stick to the curriculum, Apolline, please. Since you asked so nicely, of course. So, elemental magic? Apolline claps her hands with a wave of newfound enthusiasm. The kind of enthusiasm that should be infectious, but fills me with dread. There is definitely something about Lyra that Apolline doesn't want me to know about. But since Apolline is always so eager to please, I might be able to get something out of her. Now, Sydney, let me see your books. We can start with your elemental work, then move on to casting guidelines. casting guidelines? You should have had an intro to casting guidelines. I don't remember doing those. Appeline and Daniela share a judgmental look. Lyra would have covered this. She did. I lie, knowing I've just done something to hurt Lyra. I don't want her to look bad in front of these people. I probably just forgot. It's not her fault if I did. When we look at them, I'm sure I'll remember what they are. Then we'll start here. Then we'll start there. I breathe a sigh of relief. I take out my books, and Appeline sets up the table with a notepad and some pencils. All right, the first thing you need to know is... You've got to be kidding me. Oh, do you want me to start with the historical context of the guidelines? I want you to get out of here. Appeline and I are thrown out of the room by a strong pulse of energy. Why is she like that? Ha ha, I don't think I've ever not been kicked out of her office. You get used to it. I don't want to get used to someone like that. I thought the same, but she grows on you. I was right. When it comes to Daniela, Appeline really is blind to her faults. There is nothing endearing about being treated like this. It's not my place to say, though, just like it wasn't their place to jump to the conclusion that Lyra wasn't doing her job. Lyra did everything she could for me. I just wasn't a good student. Appeline leads me to the mentor dorm, one level above the offices. I try not to let the panic show on my face, but it's weird that she's taking me to her room, even though Lyra had done the same. Shouldn't we do this in your office? Oh, I don't have an office. But you're a mentor. Lyra and Daniela have an office. Why don't you? Well, Lyra was meant to assign one to me, but she never got around to it. It's no big deal, though. This way I can work wherever I want to. Oh, that was... Lyra has always been so busy, but even she can't be perfect all the time. She had to have just forgotten. Still, I kind of feel bad for Appeline. No, that's probably why she's telling me this whole sob story. She wants me to think Lyra was some inconsiderate sloth that let people down. There is no way she did something like that on purpose. It's been so long now that if I ever got an office, I probably won't even know what to do with one. That's what Lyra said, so I stopped asking. She's probably right. Appeline smiles, but maybe she shouldn't be happy about this. Maybe she should have kept asking for an office. Lyra would have seen sense eventually. Appeline should have an office. She's a mentor, after all, and deserves that much. Even if she's a lying conspirator. When we start working, I try my hardest to study the guidelines, but nothing about it rings any bells. Appeline tries to take it slow, and even backtracks over basic rules before calling a break. You've done really well, Sydney. She gushes, pouring a glass of juice for me from the kitchenette in her room. Even if she doesn't have an office, being a mentor granted her a larger room type than mine. I don't feel like I have. Why is this so hard? I've studied harder things before, but all these rules and guidelines just jumble together in my head. It's hard to see your own efforts and progress, but from what I'm seeing, you've come a long way since we began. You should be proud. I'm not sure if I believe her still, but perhaps my pride is telling me to try. Do you mind if I check on Daniela quickly? No problem. I gulp down my juice while Apolline connects to the hive mind. After a few seconds, she blinks away from the yellow glow and ends her hive mind session with a frown. What's wrong? Daniela didn't answer. I hope she's feeling better. If she is so unwell, she should just go back to her dorm, or at least cancel her office hours. First, she would have to realize she's unwell. She isn't honest enough to do what she needs. She can only do what others expect of her. What she thinks is expected of her now is for her to mentor her students. There is no way she'd cancel her office hours knowing that. The funny thing is, that tiny fault of hers, living by the expectations of others, might be the only chance I have with her. Why would something like that improve your chances? Of what exactly? Oh, I forgot how tight-lipped Lyra was about me. I'm Lyra's cousin. You're an Ira? Not the main family, but yes, my ancestry is not as blessed as Lyra's, but it still carries a lot of regard here. You understand why I don't want to advertise that fact at a school called the Ira Royal Academy. Daniela thinks so highly of our family that eventually she might even accept that settling for me is as close to it as she'll ever get. If you're an Ira, then why would you let Daniela talk to you like that? I don't care about things like that, but Daniela does. That's why she's so angry at me. I don't understand. She doesn't believe I should be so accommodating to her, and that I should treat her status dictates. If she's mean to you, then you shouldn't. Then you should be mean right back. Status or not, Lyra would never let anyone talk down to her without punishment. And if we all thought the way Lyra did, there would be nothing but bullies. Lyra isn't a bully. I slam my hands on the table, ready to fight Apolline for saying something so rude. She smiles at me with the same look of pity you give to a child that still has much to learn. Would you like more juice before we continue with our studies, Sydney? I accept the juice, and as much as I hate it, I stay. Apolline at least doesn't mention Lyra anymore. I'm ashamed that I'm not angrier. Instead, I feel embarrassed for being angry at all. Apolline's smile burns me all through our study session. I'm not someone she needs to pity, but she wasn't wrong. As I study the guidelines, it pains me how much I don't know about this world of magic, especially given how quickly the time for me to pick a major is approaching. I feel so tragically unprepared that I want to cry for Lyra to come back, like a child crying for their mother. I feel so lost without her in this world. I didn't mean to upset you. Apolline whispers while I'm reading. I ignore her, but her words somehow make me feel better. I feel a strange urge to hold her hand because I want to feel better. Since Lyra went, all I've felt is angry and alone. I know it's bad, but I don't want to only feel those things anymore. Even if Lyra isn't here, I want to be able to feel happy sometimes. Am I a bad person for thinking that? So that's everything you need to know about the guidelines. I hope that all made sense. It does. The guidelines and how they relate to the different disciplines. It's more complex than I thought, but I think I'll get it now. You don't seem happy about it. Haha, don't tell me. You can read auras too. I've dabbled. I spent a lot of time alone and learnt more about direction and insight spells. But speaking of which, your aura seems pretty stormy right now. Want to talk about it? Why do you know so many different types of magic? I've never been good at saying no to people, so when I first began as a mentor, everyone always asked me to stand in for them. I ended up subbing a lot and eventually picked up all kinds of things. Apolline breezes over the clear diversion from her own question. Lyra would have pestered me about it, asked until I finally caved, and then she'd smile, satisfied that she got it out of me, but that would be it. No further questions, no words of wisdom. She'd grin like a Cheshire cat and leave me with my secret exposed and nothing else. It's a bit of a joke around here that I'm the most qualified substitute lecturer here. Isn't that a downgrade from being a real lecturer? Maybe. What do you mean, maybe? Have you never thought about it before? How people see you, or what the other mentors and teaching staff think of you? That doesn't matter very much. I want to make as many people happy as I can. To do that, I need to know many different kinds of magic. One solution can never fix all problems, after all. Aren't you meant to focus on your major, though? Majors are arbitrary restrictions. Choosing a major doesn't lock your potential unless you allow it. That's not what they said at orientation. They said your magic becomes specialized when you choose a major, and that you can only safely cast spells in your discipline. Maybe it's rude to question Apolline like this, since she is a mentor after all, but it wouldn't make sense if the school lies to everyone at orientation. That is true, but that's because most people stop practicing other disciplines. It has nothing to do with what your magic is capable of. It's a crime they don't let students explore that side of magic more. In life, you can swear to one thing, but it takes many different things all working together to create a true kind of happiness. Is that what you were talking about earlier with Daniela? And that now Lyra is gone? You want to change the majors? I don't have that kind of power, but I hope it will happen. Lyra was a strict believer in our current system of majors, but she's gone now. The door of possibility has indeed opened. A shiver runs down my back. Apolline's expression remains calm, despite being clearly glad about someone's death. Lyra's death. What kind of monster is she? I think I should go. Your mood changes again? Was it something I said? Yes. No. All this studying has just made me tired. You don't like me speaking ill of Lyra, do you? Of course I don't. I understand that, Sydney. You're a good friend, but, how do I explain this? Do you remember the school system of balancing? It's why we're here. Exactly. It's also how we remain here. We might not always be able to maintain our balance by ourselves, so it is important to find people we cherish to keep us in check. Lyra was never able to find a balance. She changed her mind too often. She was strong enough to maintain herself, but it took a lot of magic. Poor Lyra. She must have been going through so much all by herself. Why did she never let me help her? The three of us used to be close. Daniela, Lyra, and I, and the two of us helped maintain Lyra's balance back then. But I've always known Daniela was the one that balanced me, and I wanted her to know. I asked Lyra how she felt about it, and if I knew how she'd react, I probably would have never told her. She got so angry at me. If it meant that you and Daniela would both leave her, of course she'd be angry. I know that, but if that's what she was afraid of, then why did she do the same thing to me? She stole Daniela and made her hate me. It took me so long to forgive Lyra for that. But I made a hard decision, and I did the right thing. Eventually I forgave Lyra, and we were all friends again. Sorry, I just wanted you to understand that Lyra was a difficult friend to have, so I'm glad you're safe now, Sydney. Safe? Safe at the school, of course. It's a dangerous world out there. This school is both a place to learn and hide until you're ready to face the really scary things beyond it. I'm sure you'll do well, without Lyra. I wanted it to be with Lyra. I want to have my own balance, and I think Lyra was that for me. Now I have no one, and nothing. I'm not as strong as Lyra to sustain my balance myself. How long will it be until I lose my balance? It would be so easy. One bad decision, one irrational thought, and I'll be back beyond that wall. Appeline grips my hand, and as much as I want it to be Lyra's, I grip tightly back. I think we've done enough studying for today. We can pick up where we left off tomorrow during our coffee date if you want. Date? I get a hold of myself and pull my hand away. I gather my things as fast as I can, stumbling over my words as I speak. I forgot about that. We don't have to. I should tell her to forget it, but she's been so chatty today. She'd probably talk my ear off if she thinks we're on a date. But it's not a date. A what? Of course it isn't. But you just said it was. Is she an idiot? Or is she trying to make this seem like it's my fault? Like I'm a stupid first year with a crush on her mentor? Lyra always found that kind of relationship hilariously sad. Mentors that fell for their students probably needed them to feel superior in their lonely lives. I meant like an arrangement or get together. Oh dear, I've made this very weird. I'm sorry. It's okay, I misunderstood. Or I understood perfectly well, and you're just trying to cover your tracks. Let's just talk tomorrow. I promise to study the rest by myself. That sounds great. Let me know if you have any problems with it. I get my things and leave. Appeline tries to see me to the door, but I practically sprint out of there and shut the door without even a goodbye. I gasp the moment I feel the door shut, and exhale sharply as if dirtied air were escaping my lungs. I hadn't even realized that I'd been holding my breath all that time. My lungs ache for air, but my legs want me away from here, as far and as fast as they could get me. Why do I feel so anxious, worried, trapped, excited? I'm sorry, Lyra. I really am a bad friend and a hopeless student. The next day, I checked the time, but only 8 minutes have passed. Here I was thinking that studying would take my mind off things, but let's be honest, I'm not that great at it. I will be right back. Just a moment. Okay, sorry. I left you with that lovely noise repeating over and over again. When I had Lyra, I enjoyed studying with her over doing anything else by myself. Well, to be honest, Sydney, it doesn't sound like you guys got a lot of actual studying done. Not sure what you two were, all you were up to, but it doesn't sound like you did a lot of actual studying. I'd rather do anything else other than study right now. I've been distracted by what happened yesterday. Miss Daniela showing up sick as a dog to our office hours and not being like herself at all. Well, she was as abrasive as ever and bossing everyone around. Still, I hope she's feeling better today. Oh, sorry, just taking a water break. Throat's feeling kind of dry today. Probably, I guess, ragweed season starting. Everyone's favorite. Though if she's the one who hurt Lyra, it would be fine that she's suffering, right? Is that what I want? I've never thought about what I want to happen to the person, the mystery perpetrator I'm seeking, when they're caught. I know what Lyra would want. She'd want them to be made an example of, for them to pay for their crimes. That's all I really want, right? I don't need to understand why they did it, just who did it. Whatever their rationale or sob story is, it's none of my business. Then they'll pay for what they did to Lyra. I grab my things to go and see Miss Daniela for our meeting when the world flashes before my eyes. Appeline, meet you at the cafe at 2 p.m. I've been trying not to think about it. Why did she think that was appropriate? I shouldn't even go, but what if Appeline was serious about having answers to what's going on here? She seems like someone I can trust, but it could all be some huge misunderstanding, like her calling this a date? My face is already getting warm just thinking about the situation. There should also be heavy quotation marks around misunderstanding. Did she really do all that by accident? I might be severely underestimating her and playing right into her tricks, but what else do I have to go on here? She's the only one offering answers. So when a gift horse stares you in the face, you go drink coffee with her. Right after my meeting with Miss... Not another one. What does she want now? Oh, I guess these are the hive mind messages. I rub my temple from the sting of yet another ping. Sydney, your meeting with Daniela has been cancelled. Please be reminded you have 2 assignments due and a lecture tomorrow morning. End. Cancelled? Well, that frees up my morning, but what do I do now? I can still try to find Miss Daniela, or I can head over earlier to the cafe where Appeline wanted to meet me at. Which person do I want to investigate more? Let's check out, see what Daniela's doing, how she is. Miss Daniela. I have a bad feeling about Miss Daniela. She looked terrible yesterday, and she still tried to work. It must have gotten really bad for her to cancel like this all of a sudden. I have a lot of time before I meet Appeline. I could go and check on Miss Daniela. Making up my mind, I rush over to Miss Daniela's office to quickly check if she is okay. No one responds, and the door is locked. What was that spell Appeline used on Miss Daniela's door the other day? Recalling snippets of the spell that I had sensed from Appeline, I give it a try. Nothing happens. I try again. And again. I don't know how long I spend trying to open the door, but each failed attempt makes my anxiety rise. What if she's hurt and needs help? She could be lying in there, too sick and far too stubborn to ask for help. Or even worse, what if she's dead? Bile rises in my throat as my mind goes to the image of Lyra's body without warning. I can't help Daniela like this. I am no use to anyone if I'm being so pathetic. Like Lyra would say, suck it up, Sydney. It's not all about you. I need to go and find her. The more we learn about Lyra, the more she just seems like a real piece of work. What do you think? You think Lyra was a good friend? I don't think so. Sounds like maybe she was a bit of a sociopath, or worse, and maybe highly controlling, manipulative. If you want to see the first part of my gameplay of Death Becomes You, I think it's in my YouTube channel, Salty Basement Mage VODs. That's VODS. I think it's in the live tab because I think I stream that live on YouTube. So if you're interested in seeing that, I need to go and find her. I decide to go looking around campus, hoping she isn't in her office after all. Maybe someone's seen her around? I don't know where to look. I don't know where to even look, but I do my best. I check the lecture halls and ask the professors if they've seen Miss Daniela today. No one had. I think of asking Apolline, but I'm already late for our coffee meeting. I don't want to seem like I'm making a big deal out of nothing. Miss Daniela's probably fine. Nothing to worry about, Sydney. I am doing it again. Everything that Lyra hated, I am doing. I am being clingy and stupid. See, Lyra seems like a nasty girl. Read the signs. Miss Daniela doesn't need me to worry about her. It's clear she doesn't like it. And now I've messed up both my plans. Hanging my head, I head towards the cafe. 40 minutes late. Well, it sounds just like me. I feel a sting in my mind and my eyes flutter. Another ping. Maybe it's from Daniela. Apolline, hey Sydney, how about we reschedule our coffee, huh? Apolline, I'm sure Daniela is keeping you busy with all your catch-up assignments, so don't worry about it. Everything's going wrong. Apolline is being too understanding, and worst of all, it wasn't worth it. I still don't know if Miss Daniela is okay. Maybe worrying about someone like this really is stupid. Yeah, caring about others, how stupid. Just like Lyra said, do what you want first, what she wants second, and then forget the rest. Well, Lyra isn't here anymore, so all I should worry about is what I want. What do I want? I walk back to my dorm room, wondering why even when Lyra was around, I'd never stop to think about it. I have no idea what I want. I always worried about Lyra and wanted Lyra to be happy and to be with her. I wanted Lyra. She's gone now. I have to decide what I want without her, but I don't even know how. It's about time you showed up. Miss Daniela scowls at me. She holds tightly onto a brightly colored box with a blue ribbon, the same shade as her hair. I look at both, not knowing which is more unexpected, Miss Daniela being here or the fact that she seems to have brought me something. A gift? Do you know how long I've been waiting here for? I'm sorry. I stuttered, trying to erase the shock off my face. Miss Daniela hisses, "Sssss," looking at my door and letting a lock of her hair hide the way her cheeks have darkened. Well, aren't you going to invite me in? You've already subjected me to the indignity of standing here waiting for you like some vagabond. Yes, of course. I rush forward and open the door, my hand crackling on the lock. I ignore it, hoping Miss Daniela didn't notice. I should have properly dispelled my hand after trying to break into her office earlier, but I'd been in too much of a hurry. Miss Daniela examines my room. I'm sure it looks like any other dorm besides a few home comforts, but maybe I have too many items that belong to Lyra. Her hawkish eyes fall on a picture of me and Lyra. For every second that she stares at it, the more nervous I feel, wondering what she's thinking. Lyra is very beautiful in that photo. You both are, surprisingly. Happy too. Lyra rarely looked that happy. I commend you. Very few could stand next to Lyra and look like they belonged there. Thank you? But it's not nice, really. I blinked and my face is a bit blurry. It's a good picture of Lyra, though. Even with all its imperfections and all of yours, it looks far better than anything I have. I wonder what photos of Miss Daniela and Lyra even look like. They are such different people, but I think it might have worked, like the perfect combination of sweet and savory. Or maybe just salty. Miss Daniela takes a seat at my desk, beside the picture. I stand, feeling strange in my own room with her there. How have your assignments been? Good. I almost finished those rune translations, and I have been reciting the laws. I think I'll do well on the test this Friday. Are these the books you've been using? She gestures to the stack of books on the desk. Yes, I got them from the library. I never used to need to. Lyra never saw the point when she could just tell me what they said. It was quicker. How could she, when she never read them herself? Oh, wait, what? Stunned, I don't even ask for clarification. I don't know. Maybe that's why I got things wrong on my tests. These are good books to start with, but you're almost a second-year student, Sydney. You'll need to start exploring your true talents soon. I don't know what they are yet. You'll need to decide, and the only way you will is by learning and reading from the source material. Don't let others decide what information is important for you and what isn't, Sydney. I understand. Excellent. I trust you'll get right on that. If you need help with your reading list, I have some books in my office. Miss Daniela holds her hand out to me, her palm glowing blue with an active spell. At Miss Daniela's wordless command, I reach my hand out for hers. But I stop short before our fingers touch, and I look up at her hesitantly. One should not let the time of day prevent them from getting work done, so... My office door spell. It will save you the burden of breaking in next time. You knew? I'm really sorry. I was just worried you might... Do not worry yourself. I blame Apolline and her bad influence, but this is how I am making up for it. I finally take Miss Daniela's hand, and her magic flows through my arm. My body learns the spell by the time the magic dissolves into my flesh. If you pass your next assignment, I'll overlook this transgression. Is that a deal? Yes, deal. Miss Daniela chuckles. Her smile isn't warm like Apolline or Lyra, but it's pretty. It's pretty, and it's difficult to read. I can't place whether she pities or is entertained by me. I think it might be both. Now, for the real reason for this impromptu visit. I would like to officially apologize for what you witnessed the other day. My lack of professionalism was inexcusable. Thank you, Miss Daniela, and I'm glad to see you are... You shouldn't be so easily appeased, Sydney. Words are cheap and ineffective, so I made sure not to come empty-handed, to show my utmost and sincerest apologies. Miss Daniela stands up to officially hand me the box. I can see the smallest smidge of chocolate on the ribbon. I open the box excitedly, feeling my stomach start to rumble. I'd been saving my appetite for coffee with Appeline, which didn't happen, so now I am absolutely starving. Inside is a dark and decadent-looking chocolate cake. The ganache glistens over the top, and the most beautiful cursive writing spells out, "Sorry." You didn't have to do this. It looks really expensive. I wish you were right, but Appeline thought that I should give you something homemade. Apparently these things mean more to people. You made this? Yes. Is that so strange? I don't have the heart to tell her that is the strangest image I've had in my head all day. Miss Daniela wearing an apron and icing a cake with a beautiful air of culinary artistry. Not at all. I lie, still thinking about what color Miss Daniela's apron would be, thinking about her welcoming me to study sessions with a warm smile and a warm pie. Oh boy. She would never do something like that, but it's cute to imagine that. Maybe it could happen. Maybe she could be wearing a French maid costume. Maybe it happened to Lyra. I love it. Thank you. You haven't even tasted it. Oh, you're right. I put the cake down on the desk and fish out a plastic fork and knife from my drawer. I try not to go to the cafeteria as much as possible, so Lyra used to bring me lunch and a bunch of plastic cutlery to help me avoid it. Remembering that, it was weird, wasn't it? I'm starting to think there was a lot about me that was weird when I was around Lyra. No wonder she stopped wanting to be my friend. Maybe it wasn't about the rumors and the questions I asked her. She probably just saw it as a chance to leave me. Now she's left me for good. Are you quite all right, Sydney? Yes. I rattle myself out of my thoughts and grab the knife. Thank goodness I have cake here. I can drown out my memories in something tasty and sweet. I hack off a large chunk and shove it into my mouth, chewing passionately as if to eat away the doubt. And we've all been there, Sydney. A few more minutes pass, and I finish the rather generous slice with a satisfied clink of my fork on the empty plate. Wait, didn't we have a plastic fork? Thank you. I speak through the crumbs. Miss Daniela moves back, avoiding the spray of food. I swallow hard, realizing how stupid I look. I shouldn't have done that. It's really delicious. Evidently. Miss Daniela's mouth twitches between a smile and a scowl, and I'm not sure which is the sincere one and which is being repressed. Here. She pulls a napkin out of thin air. I reach out to take it, but she evades my hand and touches it right against the side of my mouth, rubbing away the chocolate. Honestly, it can't taste that good that you lose all sense of decorum. Nothing is worth your dignity. It does taste really good. I think it was exactly what I needed, so I'm really happy you made it for me. Really? Yes. The cake was chocolatey and sweet. I don't think I've tasted a cake this nice in a long time. You even made a raspberry jam. Raspberry compote, actually. Raspberries were Lyra's favorite. Our eyes meet, and we both laugh. The more time I spend with Miss Daniela, the more I can see that soft side that Appeline and Lyra must have known about all along. I am even starting to think my idea of her wearing a frilly apron might not be totally impossible. She has a cute side to her. I am still surprised that you like it at all. I was certain I'd have to apologize to you twice today. Once for being so out of character, and again for making you eat something dreadful. Haven't you tried it? Not in its final state. It would have ruined it. You should have some. Miss Daniela cuts herself the smallest slice and takes an even smaller bite. I start to feel nervous, even though I can't explain why. Miss Daniela takes a larger bite, and my worries start to ease, but don't completely vanish. She takes one more bite. Her whole face scrunches up with a disgusted grunt, and she grabs the cake box off the desk and throws it in the bin. I can't believe you ate all of that. It's revolting. The ganache is grainy, the cake tastes like cocoa powder dusted cardboard, and there was definitely a bad raspberry in that compote. I'm going to buy you a proper apology. I should never have listened to that fool Appeline. She has no idea what is acceptable. She never has. I need to fix. Why are you being so hard on yourself? Myself? I do not know what you are talking about. I am simply stating a fact. That piece of trash was vile. Unless I was trying to kill you, I have failed on all fronts. You made it, though. And what a mistake that was. I mean, whether it tastes perfect isn't the most important. It's that you tried to do something for someone else. For me. A long silence stretches on. Daniela stares at the trash bin and then back at me. Suddenly, it seems like something clicks for her. Oh, maybe I see your point. So, Appeline wasn't wrong. No, she gave you some really good advice because before this, I was sure you hated me, but now I can see that you really do care about your mentees. I think I might have misled you there. I have never done this for any of my mentees. I like to keep boundaries, but you are important to Lyra, and I felt I should honor that by taking care of you. Weirdly enough, I think I feel the same way. That would explain why I've been so worried about her this morning. Honestly, Sydney, you are causing far more trouble than I'd anticipated. Worst of all, I'm going to have to start listening to Appeline and her unorthodox advice. I think that would be a good idea. Is that your honest opinion, Sydney? I nod. I regret asking. At the time, it sadly seemed the only logical conclusion was to listen to Appeline's advice, since the two of you seem so close. Close? I don't know her that well. That's not what I saw when you two snuck into my office together. I saw how you acted around Appeline, too, and it was so infuriating. So I stooped as low as to ask her directly what it would take to make you look like that. Wait, did you do all this to make me like you? People don't smile like that around me. Only Appeline does, but she doesn't count because she has no taste. You also seemed easily pleased, and I thought it wouldn't be hard to find a way to make you smile. I was right, it seems. Besides, you understood Lyra, and I hope that you might see a little of her in me. Not that we compare, but I hoped I could be an adequate substitute. I didn't think Miss Daniela could ever look uncertain, but her voice wavers and she wrings her hands over her wrists. Did my opinion mean that much to someone like her? I would like to be friends with you too, Miss Daniela. Good. Then there is plenty of time to make up for this horrible cake I've brought you. It might have been years since I last tried to bake something like this, but that's no excuse for such poor performance. So you do like to bake? I did. Well, we did, Appeline and I. When we were younger, we did a lot together, but baking was special. Special? Baking calls for a high level of precision, which I am more than capable of by myself. Miss Daniela side-eyes the Ben, or I used to be capable of, but Appeline is very helpful in the kitchen, despite the fact that I didn't need her help, per se. What I mean is, when it comes to going beyond the recipe and making it your own, Appeline always exceeded expectations. But you stopped baking together? Lyra thought it was a waste of time. We were so young back then, but she made everyone know just how much she hated our time together. Lyra would go off sulking somewhere, and I would get so worried about her. She could be anywhere, and with anyone, so we'd always stop everything to go looking for her and make sure she's safe. We barely had time to finish baking, so what was the point? It really was just a waste of time if we'd have to go looking for Lyra. I don't know what to say. I feel so sad that Miss Daniela had to give up something that meant so much to her, but it was for Lyra. Miss Daniela was just being a good friend and not excluding Lyra. I'm glad you got to bake again. I am too, even if Appeline had to rush off. Did you enjoy your coffee with her? Actually, I didn't get to go. I was trying to find you. Find me? Why on earth would you do something like that? When you canceled our meeting, I thought you might have gotten even sicker, and I wanted to make sure you were all right. You would do that? For me? I nod, feeling a little strange admitting it out loud. It was the right thing to do, but why are my cheeks burning so much? Miss Daniela suddenly leans over and pets my head. By the hard expression on her face, she feels weird about it. It's the thought that counts, though, right? You're a good friend, Sydney. Good enough that I can call you Daniela? Absolutely not. Please ensure you do not overstep your boundaries. I am still your mentor. She won't know if I call her Daniela in my mind, though. When she first arrived, I was the one who felt uncomfortable, and now the tables have turned. She doesn't even know where to look. She fidgets and makes her whole body feel small in a way that is so unlike the Daniela I first met. Well, Sydney, I think now would be a perfect time to call an end to whatever this was. Thank you for your time, Sydney. I'm no Lyra, but I hope this mentorship will work well for you. Me too, and thanks again for the cake. Ah, that reminds me. Daniela ducks back into the room. I don't have time to snoop on what she's doing before she's out in the hall again, brushing off the cake box. I need to say thank you to Appeline for all her help. You're not going to give her that, are you? If it was good enough for you, then why not? You even ate an entire slice. But it's been in the bin. She is hardly picky, and everything is still in the box. I closed the box before I put it in the bin so that it wouldn't mess up your room. Uh, it's true that it was still in the box and there wasn't anything gross in the bin, but still. Daniela waves at me dismissively. I really hope she thinks this through. Not even good nature Appeline should. Actually, maybe she would. Daniela does know her better than I do. Actually, speaking of Appeline, could you give me some advice? Of course. My top tip is to be sure to dig your heel right into her vertebrae and don't relieve the pressure until she says, "Well, no, that's not what I was talking about." What kind of situation could she have been talking about? I was talking about today. I forgot to meet her today. What do you think is the best way to tell her I'm sorry? That's even easier. You do nothing. Huh? Appeline is the kind of person where you can be absolutely silent and she'll know just how you feel. So, to make her feel better, you do nothing more than enjoy her company and show her how warm she makes you feel. You'll probably do a better job at that than I ever could. That's really great advice. Thanks so much, Daniela. Miss Daniela, don't forget to uphold proper boundaries. It is what separates us from the beasts. Daniela smooths down the wrinkles in her skirt before bowing her head and making her leave. These boundaries of hers are not as clear as she made them sound, but I guess I'll have to test them every now and then. I'm looking forward to it. Daniela is someone far more genuine than her piety allows her to show. Several days later. I don't think I've ever studied as hard as I have these past few days. Miss Daniela gave me an assignment out of the blue because apparently I'd shown promise, but this just feels like a punishment for something. Earlier today, I had to learn a whole new set of runes just to figure out an underlying concept before I could make any further progress. Reading and understanding are two completely different things. I don't even know what the spell is for, which would have been a little bit helpful. Miss Daniela's teaching style is so different from Lyra's, I'm surprised they even knew each other, much less were close friends. By now, Lyra would have taken pity on me and let me copy the answers just to be done with it, which would be so much easier and better? Maybe not better, but she was a close friend to me. Not just a mentor or a normal friend. A close friend would let you copy their work now and then. Maybe Lyra was just a better friend and Miss Daniela's seriousness makes her a pretty good mentor. She certainly gives my brain a workout. Hours had dragged on and the sun had long set while I was stuck. Right now I could really use a helping hand. I set off for the mentor offices. If she is such a good mentor, then she better be prepared to prove it now. Miss Daniela, are you there? There is a shushing sound and a... Was that a giggle? Like a sweet, innocent giggle? Who is giggling? I get nervous trying to imagine why and who and what, 100 other things. Miss Daniela doesn't giggle, but that was her voice. I am sure of it. Never mind, I'll come back another time. If I run now, maybe she won't even guess it was me. She might not have even heard the door. Ah, so it is you. Miss Daniela is smiling. Really smiling. What's going on here? Come in, Sydney. But I don't have an appointment. I can come back another time. Not at all. There's an audience. An audience for what? Daniela beckons me inside, and by the mess of tomes and scrolls lying around the room, she's been pulling a few all-nighters herself. The difference between her and I, though, was that she isn't pulling an all-nighter alone. Up burning the midnight oil, are we, Sydney? It's not that late. Appeline cocks her head. Following my gaze around the room, I suddenly realize how curt I sounded. But why is she here? Could it be you had a nightmare? No, nothing like that. There's nothing that I'd be having a nightmare about. I see. I'm glad you've forgotten all about that nasty business with Lyra. I was worried for you for a second, but it's behind us now. What? I stutter over my own thoughts. Appeline is really good at saying the worst things sometimes, even if she's always smiling. Why bring up Lyra now? I fume as if to stoke my own anger, but the fire just doesn't start, because Appeline is right. I had forgotten about Lyra. All this schoolwork and worrying about Miss Daniela being displeased with me had distracted me. Is that why she gave me this stupid assignment after all? To remind me of my place? I can't even do the assignment properly, and here I am, crawling to her to beg for her help when it had all been a fool's errand. I'm so naive. Lyra would be disappointed in me. Danny, would you get Sydney some water? She's not looking well. You're telling me what to do now? In my office? Bold of you, is it not, Appeline? Very, and you can make me pay for it later. For now, please be nice, unless you want a bigger situation on your hands. Daniela rolls her eyes, but with 2 flicks of her wrist, she forces me back into the comfort of a chair, and a glass of water sloshes into my hands. Happy? You could have just gotten it for her without magic. I could say the same to you. I expect Miss Daniela to start a tongue-lashing, but she is still smiling. Even her most cutting words are fluffed up by the shy smile she gives Appeline. Appeline sits on the chair beside me while Daniela takes her seat behind the desk. I drink my water, trying to hide how weird this all makes me feel. Miss Daniela is actually listening to Appeline, and they haven't started arguing yet? What's happened to change them so much? Well, now you're not looking so pale. Want to tell me why you're here, Sydney? I nod, pulling the notes from my pocket. The paper is crumpled, and a stain from my lunch soils the center. Ugh. Why did I bring this scrap? Miss Daniela would take one look at this and berate me for sure. I can just tell you about it. No, pass it over here. What is it? The work you sent me? I keep getting stuck on the meaning. I can't even work out what the spell is for. Appeline snatches the paper from my hand, and the smile drops from everyone's face. What do you think you were doing, Appeline? If she wanted your help, she would have asked for it. Hand it over this instant. You're such a liar, Danny. Give it to me. Daniela lurches forward and tears the paper from Appeline's hand, but the damage appears to be done. Don't give me that look, Appeline. You're not against breaking some rules yourself now, are you? Working on my proposal to reform this place is not even in the same remit of how many lines you've crossed. I've weighed the risk. This was practically harmless. This is necromancy we're talking about, Daniela. Necromancy? You had me study necromancy? I would have been expelled if the school board found out. They won't, because neither of you are going to say anything. Even if you did rat, those half-wits in the administration haven't even noticed Lyra's missing. After so long, in no time, they will have forgotten just like everyone else. But I won't. I refuse to. That's why you're doing this? But we're meant to forget. That was the point, Daniela. Forget Lyra and everything she's ever done to us. I changed my mind, and Sydney doesn't want to forget her either. I'm helping her too. You wanted me to be kind to her, and I am doing just that. Lyra was her only friend. How could we be so cruel and let Sydney forget her? Am I meant to forget her? I remember the anguish I felt in the first weeks after Lyra's disappearance. What I feel now seems so indifferent in comparison. I was feeling guilty for trying to move on, like if I did that, I'd be a bad friend. Oh, Sydney, how could you think you were? You've been so loyal to Lyra. We all see that. Does it really upset you so much to forget Lyra? Apolline seems irritated, though I know it's due to Daniela's words, not mine. I've never seen Apolline react this way to Daniela's hawking. I do still get upset thinking about Lyra, but maybe it actually has a lot less to do with Lyra and more to do with how little I know about her. Before I can respond, Daniela starts speaking. Wait a minute. And more to do with how little I know without her. Okay. Before I can respond, Daniela starts speaking. Of course it upsets her to forget Lyra. Why would you question my judgment like that, Apolline? You've been making a lot of questionable choices, Daniela. I thought you were on board. Above all, I respect your judgment. It's what I love most about you. But please, please consider the risk of changing your mind. This isn't my first dip into the dark arts. I know what I'm doing and don't need your approval. Think about this, Daniela. If you did know what you're doing, you wouldn't be trying to bring her back. You're bringing Lyra back? I feel nauseous, as if my insides have given way. I hate that I don't know whether the fear I feel is just because of all this talk about necromancy or fear of facing something that I'm too afraid to admit to myself. Of course, you understand better than anyone that Lyra must come back. It's what's best for us. Daniela, do you hear yourself? You've never had a spine before, so don't start now. Just listen and do as I say. We're bringing her back before we forget her. It's for the best. Lyra is gone. She is dead, which is where she belongs. She can't use you anymore. Why won't you leave it that way? Because I need her back, Apolline. After she's proven time and time again to you that she can't be trusted, you still want her? If I follow that piece of advice, I should have also rid myself of you, Apolline. Apolline winces, her eyes dropping meekly to the ground and looking more like the Apolline I usually see. Don't think I've forgotten. You've betrayed my trust just as much as she has, but you pose no threat. You're weak and will do as others ask. Apolline cowers beneath Daniela's words and lets her attack her because maybe Apolline deserves to be punished for what she did, whatever it was. I was trying to help. I wanted to get you away from her. By forcing my hand? You're no better than her. No, she was better. She was more honest. You didn't do what you did for my benefit. You did it for yourself, and fooled yourself with all your morality about doing what's best. I understand. I'm sorry. You say that again and again, but know that it doesn't change anything. Daniela pauses, glancing at me for a split second, as if I were a piece of litter she had just noticed. We should not air all of your dirty laundry in front of others, or you'll run out of people who actually think anything of you. Though I stopped long ago, you should aim to preserve Sydney's high esteem for you a little longer. You should leave now while you still have an ounce of credibility. I agree, and I'm sorry you had to see all that, Sydney. Good night to you both. Appeline sweeps out of the room without looking anyone in the eyes. Wait! I run out of the office, but the hallway is empty already. Daniela will know where she's gone. Maybe I can convince her to talk to Appeline after she's calmed down. I walk back into the office, but Daniela is gone too. Those two are such drama queens. I growl, feeling the frustration that somehow this is all my fault, even if indirectly. I shouldn't have brought the assignment over in the first place. I hope that Daniela has gone after Appeline, but even as the thoughts are being formed, I know the chances are slim to none. I'm going to have to make this right. I've never seen Appeline that affected by Daniela's words before, which, if anything, indicates how difficult this situation is. I gather my work and shove it back into my bag. I need to figure out where they are, not only for their relationship, but also since I'm curious about what they were planning to do with Lyra. They let slip a major clue when I had least been expecting it. They have Lyra somehow, and Daniela wants to bring her back. But it seems that Appeline wants Lyra gone for good. It's somehow much more clarity into this mystery with Lyra than I ever had before. One of them did it. I know that much. I just can't figure out why and what's going on now. Unexpectedly, I care more about the why than who. I run along the path, not knowing where to start, and hoping they haven't gotten that far. Suddenly, my hot pursuit is brought back to a crashing halt. Sophie falls toward the ground, but her magic kicks in and saves her, unlike me. My sore arse stings as it slams to the ground. Sydney, are you okay? Alice helps me to my feet and stares at me with big doe eyes. What about me? She knocked into me, remember? Don't whine and whinge. You didn't even hit the ground. I could have. Have either of you seen a Appeline or Daniela? I shout at Sophie and Alice. I don't have time to hear their lovers quarrel over nothing. Appeline? She's usually in the forest, and we did see Daniela. She looked so mad. Did something happen? Where? First, what's happened? Tell us, then we'll tell you. They got into a fight. Is that all? No, this was a really big one. They were all friendly to start with, then Appeline saw this and started to really get mad. I pull out the scrunched up homework and shove it towards Sophie. She's meant to be some kind of prodigy, right? She'll know. Sophie's devil may care snarl drops and her face blanches. What the hell is Daniela doing, giving you something like this? How does she know Daniela gave it to me? Maybe the handwriting? And why are these two here at this hour? I don't ask, because it will derail the conversation, and time is of essence here. I don't know. Why don't you ask Miss Daniela? Is it that bad? Alice looks over Sophie's shoulder to see the spell and turns green. That's not like her at all. Not at all. Do you think she wouldn't do this for Lyra? She couldn't. What exactly is so bad about it? Oh, you mean besides the fact that necromancy is forbidden? This spell is extremely difficult to control. The magic can easily sap everything from the caster. Half of what I wrote isn't even... You wrote this? We theorized about it, and I wrote it as in I put words to paper, but it's not ready. She shouldn't have given this to you. You shouldn't have written it? You shouldn't have written it. Okay. Sophie rolls her eyes and shoves the paper back into my chest. I'm not going to get involved with this, and I think you should do the same, Sydney. Steer clear of them if you know what's good. I nod and take the sheet. They say goodbye and turn the corner towards the dorms. I should walk that way too, but what do I do now? I should go and find... Okay, we have Daniela or Apolline. I'm gonna say Apolline. I should find Apolline and get her to talk some sense into Daniela before she does something stupid. Even if it is for Lyra, even if it would bring her back, even if I do miss her, nothing is worth Daniela or Apolline or anyone else getting hurt for it. I wander through the forest, feeling a strong sense that everything looks frighteningly similar. I try to backtrack, but I get nowhere. Panic builds, and I'm running aimlessly through the woods until... Apolline, there you are. You were looking for me? Apolline doesn't even try to keep the smile off her face, which somehow makes me try to look more angry than relieved. Of course I was, after you ran off like that. Apolline's smile is suddenly gone, and she looks to the ground in shame. Her eyes are shut, and she tries to hide her face beneath her hand. I try to see her better and dare to touch her wrist. I coax her hand away from her face. She looks so emotionally broken down. It's sad how much I empathize with her right now. I can admit to myself now that sometimes being Lyra's friend made me feel this way too. I thread my fingers into Apolline's. I want to be the friend she needs, the kind of friend I want too. The kind of friend I'm starting to realize Lyra couldn't be, even if she wanted to. I think she did want to, she just couldn't. What's wrong, Apolline? She'll never forgive me, Sydney. I'm still not sure what for, but I'm trying hard to swallow my curiosity. That might be how all this started, me snooping around into their private lives, trying to find out who killed Lyra, but that's not how it's going to stay. I've been trying so hard, and yet she throws it in my face any chance she gets. I tried being myself. I've tried being like Lyra. I've even tried to be like Daniela. I've done everything I could to show her how sorry I am, but she'll never forgive me. What did you do? It can't be that bad. You think there's any possibility she killed Lyra? Apolline groans as if trying to fight through the shame etched on her face. I was scared, and I'm scared now. If I tell you, you'll... I know that what I did was wrong, but it's not the person I want you to see me as. I know you're a good person, Apolline. I squeeze her hand tight, but she shakes her head and tries to break my hold. Apolline, I think I already know what you're going to say, and if she's this affected, it could only mean that she killed Lyra. And I'm not mad at you, right? She must be trying to say that did it. And I forgive you, even if Daniela can't. I've betrayed Lyra, but maybe... Apolline is definitely a better friend, and she's worth forgiving. Apolline frees her hand from mine, and I get scared. Even after everything I said, she won't open up to me. You're really something special, aren't you, Sydney? Apolline brushes her hand against my hair, smoothing down the baby hairs and tucking the strands behind my ear. My face grows hot. I think I'll faint. Confusion twists my thoughts. I'm sure she killed Lyra now, and just and was just trying to process the guilt of siding with the enemy. Now my mind wipes everything clean but for Appeline's gentleness. Can I really trust you, Sydney? Will you trust me even after knowing? Yes, I really do trust you, Appeline. Appeline lets her hand fall from my face, and with a heavy sigh finally speaks. I used an enchantment on Daniela. An enchantment? For what? I asked her, and I begged her, and she wouldn't listen. She never listens to me, so for once I made her. It was for her own good. She couldn't keep running back to Lyra. Lyra was using Daniela to perform dark magic, while keeping her hands clean of the whole thing. Daniela was blind to her faults. She always has been. I listen, waiting for the moment Appeline finally tells me the truth about Lyra, and preparing my heart to be okay with it, to not overreact because, wait, what I did to Daniela was, I used my magic to make her do something she didn't want to do. Lyra saw through it and broke the enchantment, but by then it was too late, and Daniela said I'd defiled her, that I was worse than Lyra because I never gave her the choice, and now she has to live with it. So you didn't kill Lyra. Daniela did. Kill? She did. It's complicated, Sydney. Everything with Lyra is complicated. Why would her death be any different? Appeline didn't say that she did it, but she also didn't say that she didn't do it. Sydney, I just wanted Daniela to be good and to be with me. I let Lyra get into my head because I couldn't see any other way to win besides to sink to her level. She was the one who said it was the only way to get what I wanted, to get Daniela to love you, to listen. I just wanted her to listen. You and I both know she never does. No one ever listens to me, not Daniela, not Lyra, even you. I'm not sure if I can deny that. I try to make them listen, but I hate the fighting and screaming, so I just do what they say because I'm a coward. Why does that make you a coward, though? Because sometimes I think the only reason I try so hard is so I don't have to face the fact that these people, who I've invested so much time caring about, are selfish. I can't face the fact that they're all selfish and I'm just like them. It's even worse because what do I do? What do I gain from any of this? Daniela's power trips and insults make her feel better for a split second, so I take it. Lyra, the grand ruler of us all, steals everything from me just to prove she can. I'm the only one always left with nothing. I'm tired of it all. Thing is, I don't mind getting the short end of the stick, but it hurts that Daniela doesn't love me. That's not what it looked like. Back at Daniela's office, you two have something, Appeline. You can't just stop trying. It's just one big hoax, Sydney. None of it is real, or it wouldn't be so hard. It's like I'm another part of their stupid game. We all are. Even with Lyra gone, we're still playing the same stupid game. I never understood why you liked Daniela, and maybe it's terrible timing to say this, but I think the way you two are just works. Even though it shouldn't and can look nasty, but you two worked so well when you find your voice and say your true feelings. Appeline, I think that's what is missing. You need to be honest with Daniela and stop making excuses for her. Tell her what you just told me. Appeline smiles, and for the first time it wasn't fighting back something grim that doesn't suit her face. It feels hopeful and breaks through the murkiness of feeling too dark and too bitter. You've got a way about you, Sydney. Sometimes people just need a wake-up call. Or a good friend. Appeline places a hand on my shoulder and pulls me toward her. I have no idea what to do with my arms, and they hang awkwardly. I try to focus, but all I can feel is Appeline's warmth. Appeline, duck! I flinch as a flurry of feathers thwack into Appeline's head and shuffles its weight onto her shoulders, like a pendulum finding balance. The pink tag hanging from the falcon's leg blinks in the darkness. Hey, old friend, you're back. I laugh, mostly because almost being clawed in the face by a falcon seems like a very extreme way for me to prove Appeline wrong. What's so funny? Don't you remember? Appeline pouts, shaking her head slowly. Her brows furrow as her confusion becomes worry. Should I have? I'm sorry if I should have. Because that's why you tag them, right? To see if they'll come back? Well, this one has. Oh, I see. I think maybe, no, I still don't get the joke. I'm sorry. It's like a sign. You should stop worrying. Your kindness is not wasted. The falcon came back, and Daniela will too. I think you're a better sign when it comes to proving that, Sydney. That's not true. I just ended up here because I have no friends. It's not really a good sign. Nope, I won't take any of that. You're the kind of person I like being around, and if I had sense, I would invest more into you. But the heart wants what the heart wants, right? Oh yes, and the mind will suffer. The falcon nudges its head against Appeline's open hand, impatiently hitting her with its beak when it turns out to be empty. Sydney, I'm going to try and put a few things right. I think it's about time I stopped trying to get others to do the right thing and get it done myself. You're probably the best person for the job. No one has a heart like yours, Appeline. I don't know about that, but I'll try. For now, and I'm being serious, don't do anything Daniela tells you. She can't be trusted. My gut lurches and all my initial suspicions resurface. For kind, sweet Appeline to say that, something is seriously wrong. I suppose you're not going to tell me why exactly. I'm sensing that you already have a feeling, but I don't want you to get any more involved in all this. It's a bit late for that. Maybe, but I'm still going to try and keep you safe from Lyra, from Daniela, and from myself. So I need you to trust me until I can tell you everything. I trust you. Thank you, Sydney. I know I don't deserve it, but it means a lot to me that out of everyone, you're the only person who listens to me. Appeline leans forward and my heart beats panically, which I can feel in my ears. My eyes scrunch tight, waiting for the head pat. The sound of wings is suddenly deafening, and my eyes shoot open. Appeline is already high in the sky, with the falcon gliding beside her watchfully. The falcon doesn't really follow Appeline further though, and after circling for a few moments, it glides back down towards me. I follow the guide of the falcon out of the woods and back to my dorm. I'm a little bummed out that Appeline didn't take me back herself. She has to put things right, and at least she made sure I got back all right. She's such a caring person, even though she definitely cheats with her aura sensing sometimes. Later that night, a persistent knock becomes more than just a conjuring of my dreams as I force myself to wake up. My mind jumps to the assumption that it has to be Lyra. Who else would be visiting at this time of the night? Then the truth sledgehammers me through that idiotic idea, as if with a solemn clang. She's dead. Then who or what could it be? Curiosity pulls me from my bed before suspicion bleeds into fear and stops my hand dead on the door handle. What if it's the person who killed Lyra? They could have found out I was poking my nose into it and have come to tie up loose ends. I haven't investigated Sophie or Alice much at all since I didn't have the time, but they were both there that night as well. Sydney? I know that voice. I open the door. Daniela's blue hair falls over Apolline's arm. Her head is bent back, revealing her slack-mouthed and pale face. She's sleeping. Apolline's tone is tense as she rushes to get her words out. She looks along the hall and back at me with a tired expression. We came for a cup of coffee, but things didn't go as planned. Apolline isn't a good liar at all. Apolline's eyes shift around. She tries to adjust Daniela's weight, who starts to slip out of Apolline's arms instead. Daniela doesn't even stir as Apolline struggles to regain her hold, almost slamming Daniela's head against the door frame in the process. I grimace at the near miss. You think we could come in? I nod. What else could I do? Apolline puts Daniela on my bed. Her body remains stiff and corpse-like. Strands of blue hair, clustered together with sweat, stick to her forehead. Apolline carefully removes Daniela's shoes and socks, placing them neatly on the ground. Something's off about them. What used to be thick, wet mud and sand breaks off in chunks onto my floor. There's no way Daniela would wear shoes that dirty. And where did the sand come from? There aren't any beaches on campus. Which leaves the question, how long has she been sleeping for? You're a real lifesaver, Sydney. Life-saving? Is Miss Daniela's life in danger? My room is suddenly not my own little sanctuary from the rest of the world. I'm really sorry about all this. We needed to be somewhere neutral. That was a strange choice of words, not to mention how Apolline completely sidestepped my question. What is so neutral about my room? I still have many of Lyra's things and gifts that make this room almost embarrassingly sentimental. There are pictures of Lyra, with and without me, and books Lyra left behind here. I have her blazer hung on the back of my door, and her monogrammed towel thrown over my desk chair. How many of these things did Apolline notice? Daniela will be waking up soon. It's safe here for her, right? Safe from what? Radical ideas, mostly. Apolline laughs, but it sounds forced. Her abstract style of speaking sounds more deliberate and literal than usual. Sophie, too, I think. What would Miss Prodigy want with Daniela? A like mind. Some like minds together can be very dangerous, though. What's going on? By the time Daniela wakes up, it will be dealt with, so the details are really just that. Think of it as a couple of misplaced dots and crosses that find their way back to the is and the I's and T's of this world. Apolline forces a smile, but even that can't hide what is so clear on her face. She's afraid of something. Why do you look so scared about it all, then? I'm just keeping Daniela safe. Nothing new in that. She's saying that, but what really happened? Who do I trust more, Apolline or Daniela? Who do we trust more, Apolline or Daniela? We'll say Apolline. At this point, I trust Apolline more. I don't really trust either one of them that much, honestly. As for Daniela, could she have been the mastermind of all this if she's in this state? Maybe not. It's so like Appeline to try and smile even when her hands are shaking. Does she even realize how she looks? Her hair out of place, mud all along her blazer sleeve and trouser leg. Worst of all are the dark circles under her eyes and the bruise on her cheek that no amount of smiling can make look any less magic. I remember the fib she told me when she showed up at the door. Maybe you really do need that coffee. Appeline's face lights up. Even though the expression is a ghost of its former self, I feel the warmth radiating from it. That's exactly what I need. Appeline hoists herself off the bed. She smooths out Daniela's uniform, which had clung to Daniela's clammy skin. The horror in Appeline's face has already returned, and I'm wondering how bad the truth of what she has gotten herself into really is. Is it really that dangerous? Shouldn't we stay here? Appeline shakes her head and seems to put whatever horror she's feeling behind her as she ushers me out the door. Dawdling won't do anyone any good. Besides, I could murder a cup of coffee right now. The ancient coffee machine groans to life. Hot coffee sputters out in a cloud of steam. A good cup of coffee makes everything better. Appeline holds out the first cup and sets the machine again. I take a sip. The bitterness of the hot liquid burns my taste buds. There's an unwelcome, chalky aftertaste. I don't know if I would say it's good. Last time it had tasted good, though. What did she do to it before? I take another sip, but the taste has somehow gotten worse, as if the aftertaste accumulated with each sip. I want to like it, but there is no saving grace besides the fact Appeline had given it to me. Let me have a taste. I hand the cup to Appeline and she takes a quick sip. The surface of the beverage ripples with a brief sheen. Try it now. The coffee she hands back looks exactly the same, but her smile is expectant, and I go along with it for her sake. The coffee is sweeter and has a creamier texture. Even the smell has more of a chocolatey tang to it. It's completely different. Want to know my secret? Appeline touches a finger to my cheek, applying just a little pressure, as if shaping a dimple. I feel a ripple run across my lips before she pulls back. She hands me her undrank coffee, which had just been filled by the coffee machine. Now try that one. You can make it taste the same now. I take a large gulp. The coffee, straight out of the coffee machine, should have had the same chalky aftertaste that the first cup did. But instead it has the transformed creamy and chocolatey taste. What did you do to it? To me? I'm too embarrassed to ask, what did you do to my mouth? A little bit of love makes anything taste better. Looks like Appeline really did need a coffee. She's back to her old ways and sounding as cryptic as always. Or maybe she isn't. Am I meant to take that literally? Appeline stares at me and I want to ask her about it, but I do have other things I need answers to urgently. Is this what you did to Miss Daniela? Appeline's smile deteriorates. I might have ruined the mood, but I need to know. Appeline never explained her past enchantment that caused her and Daniela to have a fallout. But Daniela's deep sleep right now had seemed a bit strange. The same thing I did to your coffee. I dropped the coffee, scrubbing my lips furiously with my sleeve. Appeline reaches for my hand, but I pull away, knocking into the coffee machine. The thud rings through the room. You poisoned me? No, never. I meant an enchantment. Not the same one. Damn it. This is what I get trying to make it sound better, and I just made it worse. Why didn't you just say that? An enchantment sounds worse than it is. Most people just know how they can be used for bad things, like mind control or putting people to sleep. both of which Apolline can do. Why am I so stupid to keep trusting someone who's admitted to doing so many bad things? Why do I keep finding people like that and ignoring every red flag just because I like to be around them? I'm an idiot. It was a sleep enchantment, Sydney. Nothing more. I didn't want to, but Daniela was too angry to see reason. She would have persuaded you to listen. She knows how you feel about Lyra, and I was afraid she'd use that to get her way. Use it for what? To make you bring her back. I thought it was impossible, but Daniela has been doing some dirty magic. To make matters worse, she kept her body and is now... She didn't get rid of Lyra's body? No, she didn't. She hid it, and I found it. Apolline shakes her head. I finally understand why she looks so tired. Finding it couldn't have been easy. If someone like Daniela had hidden it... I've hidden it for now. Then Daniela found out it was missing, and she looked like she wanted to kill me. She was so angry. I hate what this has done to her. What Lyra has done to her. What are you going to do with the body now? Get rid of it for good. There's no other option. That's why I need Daniela out of the way. She'll try and stop me. What makes you think I won't? I had wanted to find out who had caused Lyra's death, and I'd spent so much time just to accept that she was gone, but maybe I hadn't successfully accepted it all the way. I'd been so close to accepting Lyra's death because of the assumption that it was final. Now, knowing that Miss Daniela can reverse that, I can't just deny that possibility. I don't mean to sound condescending, but if you did, you'd be way in over your head. What if bringing Lyra back won't be as bad as you think? The spell could work, and then we can all help Lyra be better. I know she can be better. She won't be. How do you know? Because we've done it before. What does she mean? That Lyra was a living corpse? There was no way that would have happened without someone noticing. Without me noticing. I'd been with Lyra every day, and she was a normal person. She was more than that. She was the kind of person everyone wanted to be, not a rotting corpse. You don't believe me? I can't believe Apolline. You had to have noticed it, Sydney. She wasn't stable. The magic in her kept running out, and she found a way to leech it from others. She used Daniela to do it. She was probably leeching magic from you, too. She was just sick. She needed my help. Those nights when she'd shown up looking ready to faint, she'd hold me so close and I'd feel so wanted. I'd be the most important thing in the world to her. How could all that be a lie? Daniela is linked to her corpse from the first time she brought her back. I begged her to get rid of Lyra for good, and finally I thought she saw sense. I knew it would be rough, but I tried to be there for her. None of it worked. Now I know why. Lyra was still there, sapping magic just like before. If we don't destroy her body, then Daniela will bring her back, or become so magically starved she'll be reduced to nothing. Why didn't it work? Isn't that the whole point of necromancy? Necromancy is about communicating with the dead, giving them safe passage through a world they don't belong in. There are strict rules and guidelines, and Daniela knows all these things, but Lyra... Apolline's nose wrinkles and she shakes her head, as if Lyra is a bad smell under her nose. She really does hate Lyra, but if all this wild stuff she's saying is true, I can see why. Lyra pushed Daniela towards dark magic, towards spells that broke the guidelines and put them both in danger. Luckily, Daniela made it out alive. I can forgive a lot of things, Sydney, but the way Lyra never cared who she hurt just as long as she got her way, I could never forgive her. I'm glad she's dead. I just wish she'd stayed that way. A question haunts my mind, but my mouth goes dry. Apolline looks toward the clock and discards her paper cup into the trash. She raises her hand to her face shakily, trying to rub away the tiredness from her eyes. I better stop putting it off. Appeline smiles at me, and my heart hurts to see her already look so defeated. For how long has she kept things from spiraling out of control? To keep Daniela safe and Lyra at bay. Much, much of a toll had it taken on her. Still, she smiles so warmly at me. Thanks for being here. I think I'm feeling a little braver now. I haven't done anything special. I guess it could be because you were just our special Sydney. That's just you being really cheesy. Then it's because having someone to share a coffee with is a good amount of special. Appeline steals another glance at the clock and makes her way towards the entrance. I could walk away, but... Appeline, I'm coming with you. With me? But the enchantment will be wearing off. I need you to go and keep Daniela out of danger. Then who will keep you out of danger? I'm not as weak as I look. You're not weak at all. I know that, and I know you'll do anything for Daniela, and I don't want that. I want to make sure you come back okay. Even if it's between having Lyra back and having you be safe, Appeline, I think I'd rather you be safe. You really are too good for words, Sydney. Appeline holds out her hand. I grab hold of it, ready to face Lyra. Along with her, alive, dead, a living corpse, however she might be. Sadly, that's not what Appeline has in mind. I'm sorry, Sydney. My vision blurs and the whole world is black. Before my body hits the floor, I still hear the crunch of Appeline's feet on the gravel as she runs off. Then sleep takes me. I'll be back, though, I promise. I don't know if I heard her or dreamt of it, but when I wake up again, Appeline's gone. Suddenly, Miss Daniela's face appears in my vision. She shakes me by the front of my shirt. Her eyes are wide and bloodshot, with her hair in a disheveled bird's halo of purple hair spanning the length of her back. Miss Daniela, why is your hair like that? Where is she? Where has she gone? Appeline went, not her, Lyra. Where's Lyra? Daniela grows impatient and throws me down. She runs off, disappearing into the darkness before any memory of what happened returns to me. Then it all hits me. Appeline, I need to go help Appeline. No matter what she says, I need to make sure she is okay. I want to make sure that warm spark in her isn't snuffed out by what she's about to do. I gather myself, and on shaky legs, I run after Daniela and Appeline into the dark forest, where I hope all the secrets that surround these four finally will come to a head. Minutes later? What happened? I shakily stand up, pushing against the ground, and then my leg to support myself. Looking around, I get my bearings. The entire campus is encased by a 3-layered protection spell that creates an iridescent shell that stretches miles into the sky. From the campus buildings, you can barely see the barrier, except when you look from high enough and notice how empty everything is for miles and miles. The sun never touches the horizon, and the forest never seems to have an edge. The further away from campus you get, the lower the ceiling drops. The Academy's natural warning system that you've gone too far and you should turn back until you reach the edge. The shimmering shell becomes translucent enough that you can see through it. Beyond this border is a paradise of untamed magic and the abyss of monstrous possibilities. What do I remember? I had caught a glimpse of Daniela and Apolline on the campus path and followed them in this direction. So Daniela managed to track down Apolline. I also vaguely remember seeing Sophie and Alice show up and some sort of argument between all of them. But suddenly I had felt a sharp tingle, and from what I can piece together, I had fallen unconscious. I must have been knocked out by one of them, or maybe even by more than one. Hardly surprising anymore, but of course they had left me here like an unwanted toy. I need to find them. I ventured deeper into the forest, much deeper than the school allows. It seems like a logical direction to go. After all, if their business were on campus, the four wouldn't need to come into the forest in the first place. From here, the mirrored surface of the barrier is too obvious. The uncanny appearance of its reflectionless surface is upstaged by the corpse lying on its side against it. Lyra's corpse stares back at the four women surrounding her. Her mouth hangs opened, blackened with soured blood. I'm back at that night. Lyra... The helplessness as I watched Sophie and Daniela take her away. Lyra. Everything I had only started to bury away is here. She's here. Right here. Four women stand in a semicircle at a stalemate. Each of them eye the others, as if waiting to pounce on and stop whoever is brave enough to step close to Lyra. It takes all of my strength, but I am spurred to action. I push through them and stand between them and Lyra. What are you doing? Sydney, we need to get rid of her. Sydney, we can save her. Sydney, we can use her the way she used us. Sydney, she needs to pay. I shrink back, unable to process all the words at once. They all inch forward to me and Lyra, like hungry wolves. After a few steps, the circle tightens so much that they're shoulder to shoulder, along with the edge of the protection barrier. A closed circle is formed, preventing my escape. However, neither of them seem to have an upper hand for their individual schemes for Lyra, and the stalemate resumes. They scowl at each other, and their glare's a cocktail of contempt and pity. Apolline, what's going on? I'm righting some wrongs. I never told you, Sydney, but what everyone here already knows is I was the one that came up with the plan. Apolline looks away as if admitting it has drained all her remaining energy. The plan to kill Lyra? Yes. I knew that people would agree to it, even if reluctantly, since we had started to see Lyra for who she is. Lyra didn't hurt me the way she did others. I couldn't take away their chance to finally end all of that pain. She hasn't made it easy, especially for Daniela and I'm guessing Sophie. But you were just like her. To make people agree to this plan, you used the pain of the others. I did what needed to be done. You have said that more than enough times, but don't hide the real reason you did it. You hated Lyra and you wanted her gone. Apolline stays silent, not denying it. Daniela sighs. I appreciate your sentiment, Apolline, but it doesn't change my mind. There's a spell I've prepared, but first we need to get rid of any risk to guarantee its success. Sydney, you shouldn't have come here. Suddenly, I feel a numbness spread through my limbs. It's magical in nature, I just can't place what it's doing to me, to my flesh, to my limbs. All I can register from the corner of my eye is Daniela glaring at me. Then my body becomes so stiff and heavy, I topple over. The last thing I see are my hands, except they are no longer hands, but crystal, veins and all. Am I dead? You got ending Daniela's crystal taxidermy. Oh boy. I'm guessing this is not a good ending. Wow. Yeah, that's a pretty terrible ending. Okay. Well, maybe we'll try to get a different ending some other time. I wonder exactly where I went wrong. Because I'm guessing that is not any kind of a good ending. So, okay, well, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.